I walked into her salon and I sat down in her chair and she began to do my hair. And she looked at me and she said, "Well, you don't have a relaxer, so there is no way I can do your hair at 100% of my ability." Hi guys, welcome back to my channel where we focus on growing healthy, natural hair. If you are new to my channel, please don't forget to hit that subscribe button so you don't miss out on all of the fun that we have on this channel. Today, I want to walk through a video that was actually requested by a couple of my subscribers, and it seems like you all are wondering what some of my natural hair setbacks were and how I overcame those setbacks. So that is exactly what this video is going to be about, and I really hope that it helps some of you guys that are either thinking about going through your natural hair journey or are already in the middle of it. So I have a couple embarrassing stories, some stories about some devastating hair salon visits. So let's go ahead and get started with those. Setback number one is just due to the fact that I did zero research before I started my natural hair journey. So I started off horribly. I didn't realize that you needed a hair routine and that it was very important to incorporate deep conditioning and moisturizing your hair into that routine. So from the very beginning, I was very used to going to the hair salon every 2 weeks to get my hair flat ironed, and I left all of the hair care stuff up to my hair stylist. So she let me know when I needed to get certain things done. And of course, because my hair was straight, I wasn't getting my hair deconditioned as often. My hair would get extremely oily when my hair was straight, so I just felt like I didn't need it. My hairstylist didn't recommend that I got it done as often as I'm doing it now. So it just wasn't something that was top of mind when I went natural. Also, I went natural in college, so I didn't have access to the hair salon. So I was only going to the hair salon every 3 to 4 months. And that was literally the only time that I was deep conditioning my hair. So I was probably shampooing my hair too much in addition to that, and my hair was just extremely dry. It was brittle, it was breaking, it wasn't responding to any of the styling products or leave-ins that I would use. So I literally thought that all of the hair products for curly hair in the market were just trash. I blamed those products. I was like, these aren't making my hair curl. I just don't understand, and I don't think this is for me. So to overcome that, I finally did research. I realized that I do need to decondition my hair a lot more often than I was doing. And I understood that moisture was key to getting healthy hair, to growing your hair, and to make sure that your hair isn't breaking off. So I started to incorporate deep conditioning every 7 to 10 days when I was shampooing my hair. So after shampooing, I would only shampoo every 7 to 10 days. I would always condition and then deep condition, and that made a huge difference in my hair. A lot of the products that didn't work for me before now work for me perfectly, and I know that I was the problem, not the products. And in addition to that, I began to follow the lock method, but that was a lot later on in my journey, and those two things have just made a huge difference in my hair, in my confidence, and in my ability to actually style my hair well. So definitely thought that was important enough to be number one. So for number two, of course I have to bring in heat damage. I was still flat ironing my hair pretty frequently very early on in my hair journey, which was so damaging to my hair because, like I mentioned before, I was not deep conditioning my hair. I just wasn't taking care of it, and adding heat to it was just the icing on the cake that just tore my hair up. So when I would go get my hair trimmed, and I was probably doing that every 3 to 4 months as well, they would have to cut off so much hair, like inches and inches of hair. I didn't have a problem with getting my hair to grow. It definitely did break off pretty frequently, but getting those trims were completely devastating to me. It made me think that I didn't want to go natural. I thought that going natural actually wasn't helping my hair become healthier, and it was just devastating to see so much hair come off of your head. But I finally started to incorporate flexi rods into my natural hair journey. So whenever I felt like I really wanted to flat iron my hair to make sure that my hair wasn't frizzy and more presentable, because my curls just weren't in the condition that I liked, and they were frizzy and they weren't curling as much. I felt like if I wanted to go out for a special occasion, or if I wanted to look more presentable, I needed to flat iron my hair. But to avoid that, I began using flexi rods in place of the flat iron. So if I was going out to the club, I would use flexi rods, or if it was my birthday, I would use flexi rods. Just whenever I felt an itch to use the flat iron, I would reach for flexi rods instead. And I think that helped me to boost my confidence. I was more used to seeing my hair curly at that point. I wasn't damaging my hair as much, so my curls were bouncing back a little bit more, and a lot of the curl that was straight, it was breaking off. So a lot of the hair that was damaged was slowly breaking off, and I was really getting into loving my natural hair. So I think flexi rods was a huge tool that helped me to overcome the flat iron and to really get a grasp on maintaining healthy hair. Now, setback number 3. Setback number 3 is the embarrassing setback, because every time this happened, and it didn't only happen once, it solely happened because I got bored and I wanted to change. And I don't even know if temporary color was a thing back then, like the hair paint wax and the hair paint gel. But every time I got bored with my hair, I decided to add some type of color. So back in college, I was natural for 2 years, and I lived in Ohio. It was winter. There was nothing to do. I lived with 2 other girls, and one I was pretty close with. We decided it would be fun and cute for me to go to Walgreens and get a hair color dye and dye my hair. So we didn't use bleach, but I mean, I'm sure the dye was horrible. It was only a couple of dollars. We were in college, so we looked for the cheapest thing. But I just thought it was the best idea in the world. We went back home. She actually dyed my hair in my tub, and I literally had a patch of black hair in the back. And then the rest of my hair was like this blondish brown color. And I actually think that I kind of look like a vampire. I know vampires typically don't have blonde hair, but I think it made my eyebrows look so much darker that I looked like a vampire. So just not a good experience at all. I thought it was cute the first 2 weeks, and I even felt my hair after, and I was like, oh, this hair dye was great. It made my hair feel moisturized for the first 2 weeks, but I think it was just like some kind of film that it put over my hair that made me think it was moisturized. But I just thought it was the best idea in the world those first 2 weeks. But then after that, my hair was extremely dry. Of course, I still was not going to the hairdresser as often. I was not getting my hair deconditioned. I was not deconditioning it myself. So literally my hair was just drying out little by little every single day. And on top of that, because it was drying my hair out, and because it was making my hair frizzy, and because my curls were not as curled as I wanted them to be, because this dye was in my hair, I started to reach for the flat iron more. So that was just horrible. It was like a recurring cycle of me damaging my hair and then re-damaging it with more heat. So I definitely would recommend avoiding dye as much as possible. And if you do decide to dye your hair, look for a hairstylist to do it that focuses on natural hair. So another story around color. When I moved to Austin in 2015, I moved by myself, and my boyfriend was going to move a couple months after me and live with me. So I got very bored waiting for him to come and move in, and one weekend I decided it would be a great idea for me to get highlights. But this time I thought I was being smart about it. So I researched some hairstylists. I found one that said they were experienced in hair color. So I was like, this is perfect. I'm not going to get damaged. I am gonna look really cute. I'm only getting highlights, so only a few sections of my hair will be colored and everything will be fine. So I made my appointment. I went into this hairstylist, and lo and behold, this lady did not specialize, or probably wasn't even experienced in natural hair. So I got the color, and this part was not because of the fact that she wasn't experienced in natural hair. It was just because she probably just wasn't as good in color as she thought she was. But I left and I looked like a zebra. Literally, the color, the highlights were all the same width. They were going straight down. They just looked so bad. I FaceTimed my grandmother, I don't know how many times, showing her, like, are they supposed to look like this? Are they supposed to be straight lines? But finally, I called the hairstylist back. She fixed it for me, which means she applied more dye to my hair to fix it. So she did some darker colors to cover up some areas, and then added some lighter colors other areas. So just more and more dye added to my hair, and it was just horrible because a few months after that, my hair, the pieces that were colored, were just breaking off like crazy. And I was going to her every month to get my hair either deconditioned or whatever oil treatment she recommended. I was trying to keep up with it and keep it moisturized as much as possible, but it still did not help. Like, my hair was so uneven because I had pieces that were more healthy than others because they weren't dyed, and it was just so bad. So a way that I have overcome that is, one, I had to get all of that color cut out. So when I got my big chop, a lot of the hair that she cut off was the colored hair, and that was the only reason that she had to cut it out, was because that color damaged my hair so much. So got rid of all the color, and now when I get bored, I reach for temporary hair color paint, hair color wax, or just anything that isn't permanent, no dye, no bleach, just making sure that whatever I'm putting in my hair can rinse right out. As soon as I put shampoo in it, it should be out of my hair. And I know that a lot of these products don't have the best ingredients in them, but they still are nowhere near as damaging as the dye. So if you do want to get your hair dyed, and it is something that you think is a must-have, definitely do your research. Find a hairstylist that focuses on natural hair and color. Look at their work and make sure that they can actually do what you want. And then if you don't feel like it's completely necessary to keep your hair dyed, definitely would recommend that temporary hair color paint. So step back number 4, we're gonna go back into a different hair salon, and this happened pretty early in my hair journey. I probably was only natural for about a year, and I decided to go back to Cleveland and try a new hairstylist. And this was a hairstylist that was recommended by a lot of my family members, and I thought she would be great because she didn't use a flat iron, and a lot of the people who went to her said that their hair grew while they went to her, but later on found out that it was actually some product that she was putting in their hair that after they stopped using it, their hair would fall out. But I'm not gonna mention her name just yet. We'll see if one day I decide to expose her. But she gave me the worst hair experience ever. Like, after I left her salon, I hid at the bottom of the back seat. Like, when we parked somewhere, I laid on the ground so nobody could see me. That's how bad my hair looked. But she comes into play in the setbacks because I think she hurt my confidence a little bit in my ability to have natural hair and to be able to maintain it. And I think that I just didn't think that the natural hair route would be right for me after leaving the salon. So let me tell you the story. I walked into her salon and I sat down in her chair and she began to do my hair. And she looked at me and she said, "Well, you don't have a relaxer, so there is no way I can do your hair at 100% of my ability." And throughout that entire appointment, she just kept reminding me of that. And she's like, "Well, your hair is not going to look great when you leave here because you don't have a relaxer. It's not going to be straight and it's just not going to look good." My mind was blown because I would do my hair at home even after I had gone natural, and my hair would get extremely straight. It would take me between 30 and 40 minutes to wash my hair, condition my hair, and flat iron my hair. And I just could not understand why I was at this hair salon for 2 hours and this woman is telling me that my hair would not look good solely because I don't have a relaxer. So I kept telling her no, I don't want a relaxer, because at that point I just realized she wasn't a good hairstylist and she wasn't confident in her own ability, and that had nothing to do with me because I just knew that it was possible, that it is possible to get my hair straight even without a relaxer. So I had no idea how I knew that, but I just kept saying no. But after that, I left and my hair was, it looked just like everyone else's who had a relaxer. She just styled my hair so badly. She put my hair in these tiny rollers and I looked horrible. So literally that just shot my confidence. I felt like I was questioning everything. Like, if I don't want to flat iron my hair, what is my hair gonna look like? Maybe this isn't right for me. I just kept looking at my hair. But if I had to do it all over again, I would have never gone to that lady. I would have done some research to make sure that she specialized in natural hair. I would have looked at what her clients looked like right after she finished their hair. And I also would have gotten out of the chair as soon as she said she could not do my hair at 100% of her ability, because what does that even mean when you are a hairstylist? Like, if you felt that way, you should have told me that I should have gone somewhere else. So a way to overcome that, again, is the research, building your confidence in your hair, knowing that you don't need a relaxer no matter what anybody else says. Why would I need to change the hair that is growing out of my head? So that completes the setbacks that I went through throughout my natural hair journey. But if I do think about a couple small ones that I went through, I think that's good enough to do a part 2, because I really enjoyed sharing these stories with you. A lot of these I don't think I have shared with anyone, so this was really fun. If you enjoyed it, please give me a thumbs up. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button, and as always, I'll see you next time.